Hi guys, my name is Rizky. I'm from acreativealt. In this video, I'm going to share how to create an integrated and affordable content creator studio. A lot of us are still working from home nowadays. I don't know about you guys, but I actually do a lot of presentations through Zoom meeting. So one of the questions that I've been getting from some of my clients, whereby many of them are actually thinking of creating their own video content. Many of my clients are actually asking me on how can they record an affordable yet high quality video on their own. And of course, my answer is that if you want to do something really good, you should engage us. We will set up the professional solutions for you. However, I do understand that there'll be a lot of cases whereby you actually need to produce your own content, and we all understand the importance of having your own content nowadays. Whether you're actually a trainer, a business person, or you need to do like a content for your company as a marketer or something, what I've been learning throughout my experience in producing my own YouTube content like this. Many of times I actually uploaded this video into LinkedIn as well, which is actually one of my favorite platforms. First thing that I would recommend is actually to have a dedicated spot to do your content. That is the reason why I actually dedicate this particular spot in my studio, so that I can actually just simply sit down and basically start recording. But of course, if you're actually working from home, you want to create your own content at home, you don't have any space in the office to do this, you probably can't afford to have a dedicated stations all the time. Instead of having a dedicated stations, I'm going to build a dedicated setup that we can simply fold and put it away whenever we don't actually use that. I'm going to divide this into 3 things that we actually need to purchase. I actually did a similar setup whereby I was actually showing how to record an acoustic guitar at home. It's pretty similar to that, but in this case it's more integrated, and at the same time I think this is kind of more affordable than what my setup back then. And the first thing is of course the camera. When you're talking about cameras, it's all about the budget. Basically, the skies is the limit when you're talking about cameras. When my client was asking me about affordable solutions for this, I was actually looking through second-hand market. I came across a pretty good deal on any micro four thirds sensor types of a camera. In fact, I have another video whereby I purchased an Olympus camera for a really cheap price of just $100. I also find a good deal on this particular camera, the Panasonic GH4. I can't imagine how cheap this camera now. This was actually the camera that we were actually using for our corporate video productions in the past. We will probably shot more than 100 projects with this particular camera alone. You can find this camera with the lens for about 500 Singapore dollars, which is really cheap for this quality of a camera. Good thing about this camera is the fact that you have a tilt screen so that you can actually monitor yourself when you're actually recording. The next thing is light, and one rules of light is the fact that the bigger the light source, softer the light source is. For any types of a talking head types of a video, it's always be recommended to have soft light, because the fact that you actually create a nice looking shadow on your face. It's kind of softening your complexions, therefore you can actually minimize all your imperfections on the face. Instead of having a really harsh light, it will actually accentuate your imperfections. The bigger the light source is, most of the time it will actually be pretty costly. In my studio, I actually use the latest light that I bought. It's actually the LAN Light Forza 60, and this kind of a dome. But of course, this may not be suitable for many of people who are actually starting out or doing your content at home, because the fact that you actually need space in order for you to have this kind of a setup. Next best thing, you can buy a ring light. It's typically what many beauty YouTubers out there are using, and I actually came across to this particular set whereby you have the light stand plus the ring light and a phone mount, which I think is a really good solution for anyone who are actually starting up. And I wish I actually designed something like this when I start up, instead of like every time I have to set up a lot of different things. So by having this, I can actually easily fold this set and I push it aside, maybe put it in a storeroom or something, and whenever I feel like doing a content video, I can just bring it up and do your content video productions. And when you're actually starting out, I actually advise you not to buy a tripod, because typically when you buy whereby it's actually a really flimsy tripod, and I actually dropped a camera by mounting a camera on this type of tripod before. Basically some screws get loose and you can actually drop your camera, so it's not exactly the best solution. What I would recommend is actually to get a really good light stand then you can actually mount both lights so that you can actually mount your light, your camera and your microphone into this one integrated light stand. Cheap light stands are really cheap, probably you can get it for about 20 bucks or less, but I would recommend you to buy the better one. Maybe get something along the $70 to $100 kind of range, whereby it's actually lockable and it's more sturdy. The next thing is actually to buy something like this. Two-sided screw goes into your camera, then this goes into your integrated light stand. The next thing is of course audio. This is something that I always recommend people to buy. It's actually called the Magic Arm, which is again one of my favorite tools in video productions. This is basically a clamp. In order for you to get a good quality audio, is actually to have the audio recorders to be as close as possible as your source, which is actually of course your mouth. So if you're putting your microphone on top of your camera, most of the time you won't be able to get a good quality audio because the distance between you and the camera is actually pretty far, and therefore it will actually record a lot of the ambient noise. So by having something like this, you can actually bring your microphone closer to the source. So basically this is my integrated solutions for content video productions. Of course, this is not the best quality content video set that you can actually get, but this is a very affordable integrated content video solutions that you can actually build on your own with a smaller budget. When you are starting out, I think this is a really good training ground. Once you really get used to this method, you can always upgrade your camera, you can upgrade your lights, create a dedicated setup for your video content and so on and so forth. So now I'm switching to the setup that I mentioned just now. So as you can see, this is not the best solutions for video productions, definitely. However, if you are looking to start your content creations video and you want a quick and easy setup that you can simply just set up and fold it whenever you don't need it, I think this is a really good solution that you can consider. So, and of course the best thing about this, I can easily move the same setup anywhere I like. So if I feel like recording the video on my desk, instead of my usual video station, I can just simply move this entire integrated set and start recording my video. And by doing so, you can actually create a lot of variations on your content production setup. That's all for today. I hope this video is useful. Thank you so much for watching and I see you next time.